I always tell my clients that building a website is similar to building a house. You need a plan, you need space, and most importantly, you need a solid foundation because you'll be taking a lot of decisions. I regularly use a housing analogy to help my clients understand how the different pieces of web work together. I hope it helps you too. Now, think of a website as a house. A web hosting company is like a landowner. Simply put, a web hosting company will lease your space on the internet so that this way you can upload your website files and let people access them. You can pay the rent monthly or yearly. It is also important to choose a good landowner who is reliable, right? If we have a problem with the house, the owner of the house should help us fix it, right? Otherwise, we have to shift to a new place. This logic applies to a web hosting company in the exactly same way. Anyway, I have dedicated a complete lesson for helping you choose a better web hosting company. And make sure you watch that video before you purchase a web hosting service. Next comes the mailing address. A domain name is like the mailing address of your house. Without the mailing address, how can anybody reach you? Similarly, without a domain name, it's difficult for the people to access your website. So, when you link a web hosting service to a domain name, you'll have a website which can be accessed by people all over the internet. Anyway, we have a space with the help of a web hosting company and a mailing address in the form of a domain name, right? What now? Next comes the construction of your house. A content management system, for example WordPress, is like the foundation of your house. A content management system provides you all the tools for building your website in a quick and reliable way. Nowadays, you don't really have to learn coding for building your website. All you have to do is learn how to use options provided by the WordPress software to build a good website. Having said that, there will be some missing pieces anyway. So, if you want 100% control over your website that you're building, then you have to learn to code or hire a web developer to get the job done. People who visit your website are like visitors to your house. When you are just getting started, you'll not be getting a lot of visitors, right? So, you can always start with a small space and then go for a big space. Renting a big space is expensive than renting a small space, right? This same logic applies to the computer storage and other important resources that are provided by the web hosting company. If you want more storage and resources for running your website, then you have to purchase an expensive web hosting plan. Also, expensive web hosting plans gives us a peace of mind. I'm telling this from experience. Next comes the website design. The design of your website is like interior design of your house. The rooms inside the house are like pages of your website. The furniture inside a particular room is like the content of a particular page. The wall paintings and the furniture arrangement is what makes your interior design unique and memorable, right? If the rooms of a house are dirty, visitors will go away and will never return back. This applies to the look and feel of your website as well. No matter what kind of website you launch, chances are you'll be having a lot of competitors on the internet. If your competitor's website is providing a better user experience and useful content, and if yours is quite opposite and bad, your website visitors will leave you and will go over to that alternative website in a blink of an eye. It's not like they are attached to your website, right? There are no emotions involved in here. So, it's important to spend a good amount of time on designing the pages of your website. Now, let's talk about the internet. The internet is like a super highway which allows you to go anywhere you want. The internet helps you reach any website which is publicly accessible. If you have a computer or a mobile phone that is connected to the internet, and if you know the domain name of a particular website, your web browser knows the route. And a web browser is just like a car on the highway. Just like cars, some browsers are more usable than others. And it's better to install the latest version of that browser to get the best possible browsing experience. And finally, let's talk about the security of your website. Just like there are thieves in the real world that steal gold and other valuables from our houses, there will be hackers on the internet who can hack your website for stealing your customers and their credit card details. So, how do we stop the attackers? Well, there are several things that we can do here. By regularly maintaining your website, you can put most of the hackers away. And by maintenance, I mean regularly updating the CMS software and keeping your website performant by not installing junk plugins. The other thing we can do is Securing our website with a firewall. A website protection firewall is like security guard outside your house. Now, a security guard puts most of the attackers away, but sometimes fails to protect our home, right? Similarly, if a hacker wants to exploit your website, sometimes he will be successful and sometimes not. I hear Twitter accounts and other popular social media websites getting hacked all the time. This is happening to them even if they have a dedicated team of security experts. So, according to my experience, a firewall alone cannot stop the hackers 100% of the time. So, there is nothing like 100% protection for your website. But by taking some good measures, the only thing that we can do is making the hacker's agenda difficult when he tries to exploit our website. And that's pretty much how the websites work. In the next lesson, we'll start learning about WordPress.